attorney.
That would be amazing. Well, this is like an open forum too, like like a round table or a town hall where like
Okay, yeah, I definitely prefer to talk to you first.
okay, okay,
Yeah, let you know what's going on. But yeah, pleasure to meet you.
same to you. So,
Thank you.
did do you have a case coming up?
Yes, yeah, I've actually been in a situation, litigation for eight or going on 9 years. And basically, the HOA, I live in a condo, and they've been trying to steal my property, even though I tried to remedy the situation before they filed the lawsuit the whole time. They've broken the law the whole time to get to the point to where they are.
It'd be so crazy the amount of different issues that come up. You're fighting your condo. This guy's trying to get out of jail. I'm fighting a DUI. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, like, what are they doing?
They've been stealing my mail. I've been under surveillance. I've sent checks to Remedy, even though I don't owe them anything, and they still refuse the check, and they still just keep taking me to court to try to take my property. So
So, what is their
um,
claim?
I don't know.
They have
Because
to have a claim. They have to have some sort of a claim.
well, now I am the plaintiff now. I flipped everything. I paid out what they asked through the courts. I just tendered
Mm.
it to the courts because they refused to accept my payment. And now I'm suing them for fraud and extortion and mail fraud and all this stuff. And they tried to get the judge to dismiss with prejudice. And the judge is like, we are way past that. We're going to trial. So I'm not
Whoa, you
dropping.
got him.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
you
there's
know
some
the whole
other stuff.
yo,
There's what?
there's always other stuff, right? What's the other stuff?
That's where I want to talk to you one on one. But yeah, there's a reason why I would like to speak to you one on one before I really put anything else out there, and you'll understand why.
I understand. But
Yeah.
I'll tell people, I keep telling people, like I haven't even beat a case yet. You know what I mean? So I'm fighting a DUI right now and I'm being railroaded through the court. I asked the judge all the questions and she either gave a bullshit answer or she didn't answer at all.
That's what happened to me last. I went to court on December 7th, and I'm approaching my situation in a position of equity because the court
Right.
is really all about money. And I asked her, I was just like, she asked me, do you have any questions? And I was like, yes. Are you an Article 3 judge? Is this a court of equity? And she would not confirm or deny. And we went around the block 3 times. And she just said, I am a magistrate judge. And she stated her name, but she wouldn't confirm or deny if it was a court of equity or if she's an Article 3 judge. And the bottom line is, I already pointed out to her, she didn't even read that she's out of her jurisdiction. She was not allowed to to deny or accept my claim. She wasn't supposed to make a decision, period. So now I'm in appeals court to a higher court.
I came across some information today.
Yeah, she committed treason and I already put that she was committing treason and she was being a criminal. She gave me the side eye. And at the end of the day, she was not upholding the law. And I caught her, and it's all in writing.
Of course. And
I
then but now
prepared
you're actually taking the step because what they bank on is the people who don't actually take the step to
right.
actually sue them. They might get
Yeah.
up in there and claim it, but like they have no idea how to sue anyone.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's more than just TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. People have
Right.
come to me out of the blue. I mean, miracles out of the sky have people just have come up to me and say, "Here, you may need this." It's just this is where
Mm,
I that this is divine intervention and
mm,
things are changing in this world.
they are. like the people are uniting slowly. Like it's like World War Z, and we're almost getting up that wall. You know, we all
Yes.
got to make that big clump so we can get up the wall.
Yeah, well, this system is clearly crumbling because the news is traveling fast
Right,
and people are standing up. So that's a good sign, I really think.
right. Like
I mean,
me,
they
I'm.
made these laws, uphold them. You made the rules here.
Mhm. Well, they have their own set of rules. So, like when I asked the judge, I asked the judge, "So what's the nature of the charges?" She goes, "Oh, you want me to read you the accusation letter?" I go, "I've read the accusation letter. I need to know the nature of the charge. I need to know if it's admiralty, equity, common law. I
Hmm.
mean, you said this is criminal, so." And she goes, "Well, they're the rules of the state of Georgia, sir." No, she goes, "They're the state of Georgia codes." And I don't remember what I said because surrounded by police, and I was a little stressed out
Hmm.
because I also had a warrant. So I went in there thinking that if I did anything that didn't make them happy, they were just gonna put me in jail.
Right.
But
Wow.
but
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
the moment I was like, I said something to the words, it's like, well, the fines is way in excess of $21, man. I'd like to invoke the common law. And when I did that, she kind of like winced at me, like looking like she got angry. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then she goes, every time I would feel like I got her, she would be like, "Okay, Mr. England, we're just gonna schedule you for a jury trial and I said, "Ma'am, I object. I don't want to have a trial. I'm not even defending the charges. I just need to know the nature." And I just went back to the question. And then she just kept going, we're just going to schedule you a jury trial. And that's when the goons started closing in on me. "Okay, Mr. England, you can step over here now. Okay, Mr." And I was like, damn, you know what? But I said, okay, if they want me to leave, I'm gonna leave because I'm gonna find out what happened to that warrant. I just wanted to get
Right.
out of there and get my warrant lifted. Because I'm riding around the
So
street right now, like I could be arrested at any moment. But
what part of Georgia are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, I'm in Atlanta too.
Where okay. What part you staying?
I'm right across the street from Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Okay, so you downtown. I'm in Stone
Hmm.
Mountain. I'm on the east side.
Okay, yeah, I used to live over there. I used to live in Clarkston years ago.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Small world and shit, right?
Yep, right
Who we
off of
got there?
East
Oh,
Ponce. I
somebody
used to.
the buddy left. I'm like, okay, we just lost him at East Ponce. Okay. Word.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
the east side, Stone Mountain, Lithonia. You know what I mean?
So you're in DeKalb County. That may not be as hard. Fulton County seems to be the hardest.
Man, you hear the stories about all of them, and they're all terrible.
Yeah, they
And then
really are.
quite frankly, anything about me not being able to travel freely is sounding terrible. So,
So I found out that you can do an interrogatory appeal
hmm
um, before the trial if the judge is not acting in honor, if there's any misconduct. And you can file an appeal and a review and investigation. Just make sure when they do it, it's in person, no Zoom calls. And there's a way to have your whole case reviewed before trial if there's any misconduct with the judge.
but would you have to get that on the record before you can you would have to have it on the record, right?
No,
Like
you just
like
need to
call
file. Well, was your case transcribed? Was there a transcriptionist in a court
so I was
reporter?
yeah, there was a court reporter. Yeah.
Okay, so you may have to pay for that.
Yeah.
But most people, I know they record. So since you record, you need to go back over and go step by step of where the misconduct is, and then there's a way, it depends what court you want to file it to. If you want to file to the Superior Court or the state court or the higher court, I believe it's the Court of Appeals before it goes to the Supreme Court of Georgia. There's a way to do that, but just have a review, because if you know the laws and all that stuff. I mean, the case that I've been in, I didn't have an interrogatory appeal or review on the judge, but I did file an appeal, and it was to the point where the judge had disciplinary action taken against her for what she did to me in the case where I was the defendant.
Okay.
So the appeals court, in my opinion, can be effective. At least that's how you do get it on the record.
So I've heard of the writ of mandamus, and that's where you could try to get the higher courts, like the appellate courts, to look at things. But this sounds like it's just a direct path into doing that.
Yeah, I think you should do both.
So like, because I came up with hitting the prosecution with some interrogatories.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same thing?
Yep.
Okay. Because in the state of Georgia, they're called direct witness testimonies. Because like I want to be able to use their codes, because it has to be in there somewhere. They have to be in there somewhere. And in the state of Georgia, they're called direct witness testimonies. So I went along with the interrogatories, I'm going to put their codes pursuant to.
Always. Always. But even I put codes in, and with this last hearing that I had a great write-up on how she's out of her jurisdiction, and
Mm-hmm.
she's still denied my motions, all of my motions. It's just really all about money.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe it.
So the interrogatories didn't work either.
The motions that I filed that was calling her out, it didn't work, but I think the next level it will, because they have to. They really do have to.
Yeah. I know a guy's name is Glenfern, and he goes, don't even waste your time in the courts. Just, writ of mandamus, go higher than them. And
Yep,
then
that's
get the higher judge to rule, and then take that ruling back to them, and they'll have to dismiss it.
and that's what happened the last time with when I was a defendant. I had to go to a higher court, file an appeal, and let the higher court make the decision. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something.
Crazy.
But there's people that say they're claiming that they get it dismissed even in the traffic court.
Well, see, there's this, back in the day, I can't find this lady for nothing. But there was this lady that I was able to get everything dismissed and thrown out, but she was African American, and she had all these relationships in the court. I sat outside of the courtroom for 5 minutes, and then she came out. She's like, "You can go." So
Really?
yeah, and I got her through that legal service, prepaid legal. It was way back in the day, because
What was the charge? Sorry.
I'm trying to remember what the charge was. I thought it was something, I think it was like, they said it was a moving violation, because he said that I ran a red light, and they were charging me like $150 for running a red light. And I was like, no, I didn't. And
I
so
mean,
another one,
it was just a
another,
traffic. Sorry.
yeah, but there was another one where I got in a car accident, and they said that I was following too closely, but the guy who I hit, I was just minding my business. This guy, I was on West Peachtree Street, and he went from the far left lane to the far right lane. He just lane hopped real quick and turned into the AT&T building, and he almost hit a pedestrian, and then I slammed into him. So he just jumped into my lane out of the blue and slammed on his brakes and almost hit somebody. And I learned that transferring it to state court was helpful, and it was delayed for almost a year. And then once I got to court, I had prepaid legal. I think now they're called Legal Shield. I had one of those attorneys. They just have relationships with the court and they threw it out. And it did not go on my record or anything. So I've
How much did you
gotten
pay for it? How much did you pay for the service though?
at the time it was 19 bucks a month. I think they're now $24 a month, but they do so many traffic court cases. I mean, the $24 a month almost makes up for it because at some point you're going to get, entangled with these traffic
Well,
kangaroo court.
that's why I'm a little torn right now, like, because I'm very torn because this isn't the first one. This is my second one, right? But my first one got thrown out. I was in a parking lot and I got charged with a DUI. Like I wasn't even driving. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
like,
That happened to my dad and he lost his license for that.
yeah, well, that's one thing my lawyer did tell me. It's like the first thing you do is file your appeal, and then they have to give you your license back while you wait appeal. And I went to the appeal, and the cop didn't show up. So I won my appeal and I got my license back.
Wow. First to beat it. Well, I'm hearing that um there's a way to reference when attorneys and cops show up as witnesses when they're not the injured party.
Sorry.
Have you heard of that?
Say that again.
When cops or attorneys
Mm-hmm.
show up and try to tell the story of what happened when they're not the injured party.
Trinsley
They're,
versus Pagliaro.
yep, that's what I've been reading. I was just like, all right, well, is that could be a way to get it thrown out, right?
Uh, that's the way to get it on the record, just to have the record of them fucking up, because they're gonna
Okay.
keep going on, and they're gonna remain silent when you ask them questions. They're gonna stumble over like deflecting responses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because I was in the courtroom and I was like seeing this firsthand. Like, so I filed a bill of particulars, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they called my name, it was literally a cattle call. Case number 21212. So and so, this guy stands up. How do you plea? I like to talk to a prosecutor. Okay, boom. Next person. 21214. The next person come. How do you plea? I'm like, damn. It's like they're just shuffling through the bank teller line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really bad.
So I stood
It's
up and I go, yeah. So I submitted a bill of particulars,
Mhm.
and it was received on November 20th. I'm just having no. I'm like, has the prosecutor had time to review it? She looked at the prosecutor, the judge. Prosecutor goes, yes, I saw it. Then the judge goes, okay, go over there and talk to the prosecutor. I sit down and talk to the prosecutor, and then she's like, with her mouse looking through her computer, she's like, oh, I can't find it. Oh, I don't see your bill of particulars. What is it? What is it do you need? I'm like, well, I just need to know the nature and cause. Oh, have you read the same thing that the judge goes? Have you read the accusation letter? I'm like, I read the accusation letter. I know the charges, ma'am, but what are the nature? And I said to her, is it a breach of contract or is there an injured party? She goes, okay, sir, you can just go over there and sit down and wait and we'll get to you. And I said, okay, I got a warrant. I'm not making no fuss. I get up and I go back and I sit down and I just wait.
Mhm.
And then when the judge calls me, she goes, prosecution, have you reviewed the bill of particulars? She goes, yes, Your Honor. And I just looked at her and I was like, really? You just said, and I was like, I thought, man, let me not say what she said on, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to approach that. Like, because
Hmm.
she was directly lying right in front of me on the record. And that's why she just kept trying to put a trial on me, kept trying to put a trial on me, and I kept objecting. And by the
So
second objection, that she just pushed the cops in just to get me out. Okay, Mr. Angley, all right, get okay, just come this way, go this way, sir, go this way. And I was like, all right, as long as y'all let me go.
So let me ask you this. When you were in court prior to the everything beginning, the hearing proceeding, did they put you under oath?
No, no, I would never go into her. I would
Why?
never, because they don't.
Right. So that hmm.
Before I go no, I'm like, well, Judge, I need to see your oath,
Mm-hmm.
and I need somebody who else is under oath. Where is the other person under oath who's bringing a claim against me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I said to the judge. I said to the judge, I go, Judge, do you have a claim against me? She goes, the state has a claim against you. I said, the state doesn't have any arms or legs, man. Somebody had to actually write down and bring a claim against me. And she goes, Jalea Wiggins, the person who signed my accusation letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my accusation letter was signed electronically and it wasn't under the penalty of perjury. And I said, ma'am, that wasn't signed under the penalty of perjury. I said, literally anyone could have signed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone in this room could have signed it. And I go, did you sign it? She goes, no. I looked at the prosecution. Do you have a claim against me? No. Sir, let's just schedule you a jury trial so we'll talk about it. I'm like, I object, Your Honor. I don't want to go to trial. And that's when the goons started coming in. It's like after the second objection, the goons started coming in and I had to get out of there.
Wow. And what day did this happen?
Friday.
I'm sorry.
It's cool. Like I could have handled it so much better. Like I should have just stood my ground because I was just worried because I had the warrant. Like if you read through the Georgia code and they have a section that says nature of proceedings and it's ridiculous. I could pull it up really quick.
My goal is to see how I hear that there's ways to deal with the courts
Huh?
without going to court, like settling things
Right,
with the courts without going stepping foot into court.
right. I've heard that too.
So
They
that's what I'm trying to figure.
let me see. Wait, I was supposed to go live with this. Damn, this thing be make me look too light skinned and shit. Here we go. Nature of proceedings. Hearing a procedure. I'm having like throat issues right now. Excuse me. Court shall conduct a fair and impartial hearing. Take action. Wait, let me share it. Have you seen this? Have you read through this?
No.
It gives the judge like all kind of power to just put you in contempt at any point in time.
Yeah, I do need to read that.
The court shall conduct a fair and impartial hearing, take action to avoid unnecessary delay in deposition of the proceedings, and maintain order, right?
Hmm.
The court may, among other things, arrange and issue notices of daily. Let's get to the good ones. Oh wait, where you? Okay, here we go. This is what you can be confounded in contempt for. Disobeys or resists any lawful order or process. Neglects to produce after been have ordered to do so any pertinent book, paper, or document. Come on, we could use these against them though.
Hmm.
We can use these against them. Refuses to appear after having been subpoenaed. I just told the clerk that I was going to send out a subpoena earlier today, and that's the state of Georgia, so I need to be reading this anyway. Upon appearing, refuses to take the oath or affirmation as a witness. Aren't they doing the same thing though?
Yeah.
After taking the oath or affirmation, refuses to testify or disobeys any other order issued by the court. Here we go. Reprimand or exclude from the subpoena. I was reading it earlier and I was just like, damn, this just gives the judge all kind of power to just
But the bottom line is they still have to have jurisdiction.
right. And they never do. They never
Right.
do. I got a one-on-one with this his name is Joe Lustig, and he says they don't even have territorial jurisdiction. What they like to say is that you're in the county of DeKalb, right? So we have jurisdiction over you, right? But the county of DeKalb like exists in the file cabinet somewhere in DC somewhere. And
Right.
the county of DeKalb does not own the that street or that intersection specifically. And he looked it up and it was like they only own dockyards and certain type of buildings, like shipyards and stuff like that, that
Hmm.
kind of pertain to admiralty. Have you seen the thing where you look at the buildings and they look like they kind of look like ships?
No. I mean, ever since I have only been on TikTok for a few months and it's like a whole new world. I mean, yeah.
It's funny to me because I was watching one of Yusuf L's videos,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and that dude is just gem after gem after gem after gem, right? And I
Yeah.
was just like, you know what? I've seen other people posting like videos. I'm gonna do it too.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I was like, I was coming at an approach where I was tired of like saving videos,
Mm-hmm.
my favorites, and like category. If I had my own videos that I can study from everything that I'm taking from, it would be an easier way to for me to study them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Right. Have you ever thought to have him review your videos and give you some feedback on how to approach them in your next hearing?
Um, that's the thing. Like at the time, I was looking at his calendar to try to get a one-on-one, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like the next appointment was like way past my court date. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he'd be backed up. But the thing is, I know if you get useful, he's gonna like he probably knows like at least 16 ways to get around it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people like that on there. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to find them. I just want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's it. Let's just talk about it. Like it's a talk show. This is Leno or something.
This is court TV.
This is better than court TV because they
Yeah.
use the term sovereign citizen on that show, you know?
Yeah, I've been so careful to say sovereign because I've seen um, materials that the government labels sovereigns as enemy of the state. So
Well, so what my response to that would be define state
Mhm.
because all throughout American jurisprudence, you're going to see the term sovereign. You're going to see it all throughout the common law case law, the Supreme Court case law. You see that term everywhere, right?
Mhm.
So who are we an enemy of the state? Who's the state? Who is the state?
I mean, it's all just
Is that a capital state or is that a lowercase state? Because
it's a
there's a
good question.
difference. There's a
Mhm.
difference. So whose state are we an enemy of? Like I'm a Georgia state citizen, right? Or a Georgia state national, or you can call me an American Indian. But my thing is, it's whatever you check in that box. And if there's
Mhm.
not your checkbox in that list, I just write it in there now.
Mhm. Well, the best thing that could have happened to me, my eyes have been open, and I was like, I've had this awakening. I'm not going back to corporate America, and that was half the battle.
It was. I just
It
took
was-
I just took a one-on-one, or not a one-on-one, but it was a IRS revocation of elections course where you send the IRS your new withholding status is what it is.
Mhm.
I'm still
Mhm.
waiting on I'm waiting on the replay. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna just put the replay on when I go to sleep. So it just, my subconscious gets it too.
Okay. How much did that cost? That course cost?
Course was like $60.
Okay, that's reasonable because a lot of these
That's
people want so much money, and I'm just like, I can't. I just.
exactly, like, I was glad you said that, because some people I would say $60. $60? What? I'm like, yeah, yeah, man. And compared to like some of the other prices you done seen, that's very reasonable. If you give me like $100 for an hour, I get it. Because you're gonna be getting like people like left and right on social media, you know. You gotta be able to pay for the time.
Yeah, I've seen people charging $1,000, $3,000.
Yeah. I've seen
August,
$7,000. I've seen $7,000
who
to
was
get a
that?
tr I was get it to get a trust, and I seen one for like $9,000 to learn how to discharge debt.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's people giving that out for free on TikTok, but
There there is, but it's like by the time you get to the free stuff, it's been already done changed. Look,
you're right.
I sent out a coupon after watching the video. I was like, fuck it. Because it was like step by month, it was like step by step. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm gonna go by step because I'm not breaking the law here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I followed it step by step, and it was for a credit card though. And they closed the account and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. But they also sent me a letter, and I haven't heard from them since. The letter was like, oh, you're gonna just keep getting statements until the balance is cleared. But it never said that I had to pay the statement. It literally never, it doesn't say that.
It sounded like it worked. You called them out, but you'll just no longer be extended credit. Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. So the account's closed now. So like at some point in time, I'm gonna see if I can get it to reopen because I think I still got time for that.
Well, that's the whole part of discharging debt. When you discharge it, they no longer want to continue business because there's no money in it for them.
But in my case, there was because
Oh, okay.
it was a secured card, and I got it, and I put money in there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with every swipe I do, right, just that should be compounding the initial principal balance that I put in there. Now,
Wow.
don't get me, quote me on that, but that's what I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
because they usually try to take that. From what I've heard from these videos, they usually try to take that interest.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But there's still a lot to know about the discharging, so I'm just trying to get to my court case now.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do, like, oh, by the way, with that whole couple $1,000 for these classes, the
Yeah.
thing that gets me about it is that they don't have proof of concept. They don't have testimonials or anything. So I'm not gonna invest if you have not proven to me that you have this process down and it works and you have people that can vouch like, hey, this dude saved my life. He's awesome. No, I just, and then there's still a risk with those type of people because oftentimes if there's a service being um, sold or whatever, they usually don't have the capacity for the influx of new customers. So you could be left hanging and it'd be hard to get a refund. So I'm very careful. Like $50 is the most I'll ever spend on TikTok ever again.
Yeah. But it's like, here's the thing, right? Like, if you watching it, like, because I like we just said, I like people who can show receipts. And it's like when you're talking about it, it's easy to show receipts because you could just pull up the codes. You read the code and it's all in how you interpret it. It's like, yeah, well, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But then like an attorney would read it and it doesn't make sense to him because he's interpreting it differently. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's so funny that you bring that up because I'm wondering this stuff that we're talking about. It's like I just learned 2 days ago there's a difference between a lawyer and an attorney. Then, like some of the stuff that is on the sovereign side or private citizen side, a lot of these attorneys out here do not know about it. So they
Yeah.
don't they don't know all they really don't know the law. They know business.
They know
And they know
business.
yeah, they know the procedures of the court, but they don't know the law.
Well, they feel like their procedure is the law. I mean, I'm pretty sure they go through the USC codes. They have to, you know.
Yeah,
But
but that what I learned how what they do is they go on these databases, like example LexisNexis, and they're able to reference case law,
right.
but they don't know the law.
But they probably have tools that just help them do that very quickly. So it's not like
Yes.
they're urinating. It's like using a calculator for them, you
Yeah,
know?
LexisNexis. Yep.
LexisNexis. And I want to get like a I want to get like a because LexisNexis is very expensive. I'm thinking about getting it for the fast case because that sounded a little bit more or affordable.
But you
And
can
just be
always go
able
through the law library and you can get access to LexisNexis to look up those case laws.
don't tell me that. That's a good idea.
I just did it yesterday.
That's dope.
But they
Look,
don't have one
because
in Fulton County, but I'm sure you can find one in Gwinnett
the
and
same one, see,
DeKalb.
the only reason I haven't done it is because I had the warrant, right?
Mhm.
And that's the courthouse that arrested me. So I wasn't about to go there. The closest one to me is the Decatur Law Library. And that's supposed to be, because that's in the big building downtown, like in downtown Decatur.
Yeah, but you can also go to the law library at what's it called?
Emory or something?
Emory. There's one in Gwinnett. You can go to a different county.
Man, I ain't trying to drive all the way out there. I'm right here.
Well, if you have a warrant, there's got to be a workaround during this delicate stage.
Uh, but exactly. So like if I'm driving farther, yeah, listen. And then I want to get picked up by Gwinnett and have to sit there until DeKalb come get me.
Yeah, well, I went to a law library down in Jonesboro
Okay.
because they shut down the law library in Fulton County during COVID.
Ah, hmm.
Yeah, it's like how convenient.
If y'all are
Yeah.
joining, man, we are on this one's about to end. So there's 1 minute left. So the next one, I'm gonna call the dude and I'm gonna have him come in because it's the same guy that I was on the phone with all day about his court case.
Mhm.
But nobody came to this one. What's good? But where you at? She wanted to talk about her family court. Like there are a lot of people that's talking about family court,
Yeah, family
child
court is a
support.
racket. It's so
It's a
sad.
it's a racket. I don't understand it because there are two parties. So like say like you guys work it out. Say like y'all work it out. They're still gonna move forward with this shit.
I
I
did
I
not
wa-
know.
I watched it in court. Like the dude stood up and he was like, "Yeah, me and my wife, we reconciled." His wife stood up. Me, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We reconciled. And she goes, "Okay, well, I charge you with," and I was like, "Wait a